Okay, so we're going to be doing the Sunshine Skivvies by Petite Stitchery today. These are super cute underwear. It's perfect for scrap pieces of fabric. It's really simple leg bands, waistband. I love this pattern. There's two different versions. There's the high rise and the low rise. I'm going to be doing the high rise today. This pattern, actually, the one you see is the low rise version here, but I'm going to be doing the high rise. There's a lining in the underwear, of course, just like normal underwear. But I really love this pattern. So let's get started. These are the pattern pieces that you need. You need the actual pattern piece for the underwear here. These are the different, the high rise and the low rise. So if you want to cut low rise, cut that dotted line on both sides. Cut one on the fold, and then here's the lining piece, cut one on the fold. And then your waistband and two leg bands, those measurements are included in the cut chart for whatever size you're doing. I'm doing the size 3T, so these are my measurements here. I write them on my pattern piece just for convenience. Alright, so then this is what it looks like when it's all cut out. And then I've already pinned my lining to the underwear on the wrong side, of course. And I'm actually just using a cotton t-shirt, and I cut it up. It's just an old cotton shirt. I find cotton to be the best because it's the most breathable, since it's going down on the lady bits. So I just figured it would work the best. It's what I use. Alright, and then cuffs. I prepare my cuffs the same way as I always do, the ham hot method. If you don't want to do that, just prepare your cuffs like normal. But I do the ham hot method, which is I fold once and then fold the hamburger style and then hot dog style, and then I serge that raw edge and then flip them out and put them on like a normal cuff. That's just what I do. Alright, and so you are going to baste stitch this lining down on your sewing machine, and then once you baste that down, you are going to do the side seams here. And then, of course, you're going to prepare your cuffs, and let's go over to the serger and get this done. Alright, so I'm at my sewing machine actually first to baste this lining down. And I'm just going to be using a lengthened straight stitch. Mine goes up to 4.8, I believe. And so I'm just going on that very edge here, like 1/8 of an inch onto it, just to make sure that it gets caught in the serge seam when I add the bands. This just helps that lining not to move. Alright, so now we're at the serger. We've got that basted on there. Now we're going to do the side seams. Alright, so this is what they look like done. And then now we're going to add our cuffs or bands or whatever. But first I'm going to quarter up the waistband here to find the front and the back. And then we're going to use the side seams as the two final points. This is just what I do to, you know, quarter up my waistband so that this stretch is perfect. Okay, so you're going to need to quarter up or make points for the bottom part here too, since there is no seam for the crotch. So I like to go ahead and just lay these flat, and then where it naturally folds there, I snip the two side points. I just use 2 points. If you need to use 4, go ahead and match up the point you just snipped and the side seam, and then you'll find your two other sides, your two other points. So there's the cuffs. I'm just going to get those started. Alright, and I'm just making my snips on my cuffs. That's what I use to match up to the points that we just snipped. Of course, you'll need 4 for the waistband because that's how many points that I did. And if you did choose to do 4 for the leg bands, make sure you do 4 on your cuffs as well. But I just did 2. So flip all your cuffs out. Now you're just going to pin your cuffs on here, and so I like to put the seam on the spot that we snipped on that natural kind of fold on the crotch area. That's just where I like to put the seam. And so you're just going to pin all those together, matching up the points that you snipped. If you're using directional fabric as well, you're going to want to make sure that when you line it up like this one right here, that the print is actually facing the way you want it to face when you're putting it in there. Okay, and then you just serge around the circle of the leg hole here. Just taking care not to get any folds in the fabric and making sure you're doing the raw edges. Then tuck your tails with a nitpicker or however you want to tuck your tails. Just make sure they're secured and repeat with the other side. Here I'm just pinning everything together, and then I'm just going to sew around this leg hole here just like the other one. Okay, then now we're going to do the waistband, which is essentially exactly the same thing, which is bigger version in 4 points instead of 2. And so I like to put my seam in the back, so you need to pay attention to the actual underwear part to make sure that you're, pinning it to the back. I like to add my cuffs on the inside of the inside out garment. It just makes it easier to add tags. It's just what I found works. I keep saying I'm sorry. But then you just pin this up. Pin them all together, all the 4 points that you cut and the 4 points that you cut on the opening. Okay, and then I like to sew on the outside of this just because it makes it easier to add tags. But if you're not adding tags, you can sew on the inner side of the circle here. It's just whatever you want to do. This is what I find works best for me. Just get that cuff attached to the garment. Or waistband, I should say. But it's still a cuff. It's just a large cuff. And so, of course, when you get done, you're going to want to tuck your tail or secure it somehow. I find tucking it works the best. Alright, so we're going to flip them out and see the finished product. Anything else would be optional or cosmetic, such as top stitching the waistband or leg bands down. Totally up to you, but this is how they look. Super cute pattern, great for scraps. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and we'll see you guys next Tuesday. Bye!